So I'll never be 18 again. This is the last month I'll be 18. During and after it, I'll stop being 18. So I have some thoughts that I'd like to share. Having spent that year in solely writing for the most part, and through the publishing machinations sounds better. It's been illuminating in various different ways. Mostly due to the passage of time. Because time moves so quickly. But if you use that time wisely, you'll be able to see the fruits of that time. And it won't just be wasted time. You won't just look at your 18th year and you'll be like, oh gosh, what did I do with that? No, I know exactly what I did with that. And I have concrete proof and concrete proof of my existence, concrete proof of what I've done, and I have there's lasting impact on my personality from that year. And that's why when I say it's my last year, I'll never be 18 again. It's like, I will never just have this experience again. I'm done with it. I've gained what I've gained from 18. And that's it. It'll be ended. It'll end. It won't be a thing anymore. And this brought to mind other notions other than productivity. I thought about looks, physical aging, because that's been on my mind recently. Because there's a lot of there's a notion about a certain fear of aging. This happens with guys as well. I think they get scared of going bald or things like that. And I think aging has been demonized in some ways and not represented as rightly as it should be by those in those individuals' communities. So perhaps the person that's worried about balding hasn't met an older man who is bald, but it has, different positive aspects of life he's gained from the fact that he's grown older. And this may make them feel scared about aging. And there are other aspects of society, of some parts of society and some cultures that are not very modest in their way of being in existence. And that tends to make it harder for women and men as well, to let go of their physical body, because at some point it's going to diminish. That's just kind of what aging is. And I've seen very beautiful older people as well, from men and women, but it's not comparable to being youthful. And I think we've placed too much undue importance on that, on men and women. And I think it's a culture that should shift. And I believe it might be shifting. I'm not sure. I'm not really connected to the mainstream right now. So if you know, let me know, I guess. So yeah, I invite you to take your looks less seriously. I invite you to be in touch with the maturing aspect of growing rather than the physical aspect, Because if I'm not wrong, cell reproduction or something stops by 25, I don't know. And after that you just start aging, right? Instead of growing. But the more you age, the more you grow mentally. The more you gain wisdom and experience. Even if you don't physically look great. So that's kind of been on my mind recently. Can't think of anything else that's on my mind right now about being 18, other than the fact that I've been called really childish. I've been called childish and childlike a lot. And my family members have been like, "You're almost 20. Can you stop being a child?" And it's like, I don't know, man. I've been robbed of being a child. Kids grow up way too fast these days, including our generation, and I feel like haven't had the pleasure of being a kid for a long time. And I feel really happy when I'm like childlike, you know? When I mean childlike, when I'm out in the grass, when I stop and look at flowers, when I chase butterflies, when I draw something, I doodle something, I read something, and I'm excited about it. And I have a very innocent way of expressing certain emotions. A commenter once said that I was too pure on one of the community posts, and I was like, oh man, I'm just like on a different level, and it's kind of disheartening to see that that might be a negative aspect, supposedly by some people, and that it's relative to my age. Like, oh, apparently it's cute when I'm 18, but like, you're gonna find me annoying by 25? I don't know. I feel like that's really rude. Kind of makes me feel bad about it. But honestly, at this point, it just depends. So many different people have so many different opinions on traits that it doesn't matter. What matters is your own opinion of your own traits, I think. Given that you are like a righteous person, I guess, you know? Like, you can't just be narcissistic and be like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine. It's fine that I'm narcissistic. This isn't a bad trait. No, it is. It is, and it's okay. You can accept it, you can talk about it, and you can live with it. I'm gonna pause the recording because I'm deathly scared of it pausing and restarting because it's happened so many times. So yeah, I'd invite you in your next year to work on a project because that was very helpful for me to kind of provide sort of like concrete evidence of like existence and working on something and having something to point to. Another project that I was working on during my 18th year is the publishing and preparation of my poetry collection, 17 Breeze. You can find it in the link below. And that was really helpful for me, you know, even if that poetry book doesn't really get read a lot, yeah, it'd suck a little bit, but really it was just about writing it down. You know, I wrote those mostly when I was 17, and after that it was just trying to get like the whole publishing thing up and running. And yeah. It's kind of frustrating working on it, from like the perspective of getting it on store shelves, like physically there. Quite challenging, so working on that. It'll be annoying to enter 19 while I'm still working on that. Like, gosh, that's okay. It's fine, but that's life, you know. You don't finish a project usually when you think you're gonna finish it. You have like a projection thing, and usually you're gonna get it around that time, but sometimes stuff just happens, dude. Like, yeah, it's very good to set deadlines though by year. Yeah, I'd like to talk about that. So I think it's very helpful to set deadlines for yourself by years because it makes sense, because a lot of important things and things that you want to improve on usually take a year. And I'm talking about projects like writing or painting or like getting certain qualifications for a job you'd like, or entering med school. That kind of stuff takes a long time, you know. And I think med school would take like a lot of more than a year of preparation to like enter that to enter that field. So I'd really invite you to organize your life based on the years required for that thing, you know? And when you pursue that thing, that project, that hobby, that career, please don't make it your life. Don't isolate yourself and do that thing day after day. I think they call it locked in or monk mode. I don't know what you guys call it these days, but don't do that because I've done that and I've accomplished tremendous progress that way. However, a part of me feels that 18, the year 18 of my life was mostly dedicated to this singular project. And this kind of stings me because I haven't been to many parties. I've been crying a lot, and in the beginning, not like towards the latter end. And it's been it's negatively impacted me to do that whole monk mode thing. And it would be so much better if you calmed down and you didn't take it so seriously and you didn't dedicate it so much because I kind of feel awkward saying, oh, well, I dedicated the 18th year of my life to writing and working. Like, what? Really? I did a lot of good things though, other than that. You know, I've discovered a passion for the outdoors, I've done a lot of things, but you need to balancing working on your project and accomplishing great things in that while also maintaining a life and having hobbies outside of your projects and having interests and having friends. Having friendships and creating friendships is very underrated. A lot of people are super lonely, me included, and it's the strangest thing, you know? I just hope that people become more accustomed to just talking to people. Yeah. Because, like, but then when you get to that point, you kind of have this problem where you just talk to everybody, but you're not good at forming relationships. But, I mean, like, friendships, you know, like lasting friendships. And I just, but it's fine, it's fine. You won't figure it out in one day. It's alright. And yeah, hope whatever year you're going into is full of progress and fun, not just progress. Bye.